Hello and good day everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Dr. Luisito Masanga. I have been in the corporate organization for 33 years, specializing in areas of facilities and administration management. This will include both types of industries, product and service based, sales and marketing, project and construction services, energy conservation management, occupational safety and health, and security management. I've been in the academe for 11 years, both in the undergraduate and graduate studies. I'm currently engaged as a part-time professor in the La Salle University, Das Marinas, and Informatics College, Northgate. I will be your facilitator for today. Our course is about communication skills, and this course is very essential and vital to students because communication is understanding, delivering your message to the receiver, and if the message is encoded and is very clear and specific, the receiver will send back a reply to the sender, and it's called feedback. So, what is the benefit of communication skills to the students? Well, there are a lot of benefits. Number one, you will improve your how you communicate to others. It will improve your listening skills. It will develop yourself, and you get in your socializing. There is an added value. All right. Now to proceed with this course, we have a learning outcomes, and definitely at the end of the course, students are expected to comprehend concepts, theories of communication skills, the different categories of communication, and its vital importance. Second is to develop abilities in improving communication skills. We have two modules. The first module is about concepts of communication and importance of good communication skills. What are the contents of module number one? We have what is communication. We will define what is skill and what is communication skill, both combined, and what are the different categories of communication. And the last one will be the profound importance of good communication skills. In module 2, we are going to discuss about developing communication skills, and the content is areas of improvement in effective communication skills. Doc, why areas of improvement? We cannot say that we are proficient in our communication skills. This course is not about uh, teaching you to be fluent in your communication skills, that it will take how many hours and then the output is that you are going to be an effective speaker. No, that is not the intention of this course. The intention of this course is to give us a guidelines, to give us an overview, to give us, a direction, uh, so to develop our communication skills. Okay, so we will learn that in module 2. Okay, we go now to the concept and principles of communication. Okay, In this segment, communication is defined by Oxford English Dictionary. No? And then, according to Oxford English Dictionary, communication as a noun is imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other mediums. Okay? And then, it is the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. So, communication, you can see that we have I call this a conceptual framework of what communication concept and principle is all about. First and foremost, there are major characters in communication. Uh, the two major characters is the sender and the receiver. The message originated from the sender, and the message is given to the receiver. Alright? So the sender imparts information or message. Maybe what type of message? Maybe through verbal, or maybe to written, or maybe to other mediums such as an email, or a short message or text message, or even a hand signal. So why successful? Because if the message is understood by the receiver and it goes back to the sender, uh, we call this feedback. That is a successful communication. There is a feedback loop, meaning to say the message was vividly and clearly understood by the receiver. The receiver encoded the message and is sent back to the sender of the message. That's the closed loop of the communication channel. And we can say that sender, message, the receiver or recipient is the three parts of communication. They are the major actors of a a scene, no, when it comes to communication. I will repeat, the three parts or the major players are the sender, the receiver, and in between them is the information or message. Let's define first so that we can, grasp what is the definition of skill. According to Merriam-Webster, a skill is the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. Dexterity or coordination, especially in the implementation or execution of learned physical tasks. Meaning to say, if you have a writing skill, if you are good in public speaking, if you are good in art, if you are good in fine arts, if you are good in numbers, that is the knowledge or ability that you inherent as a skill. And in order for you to paint a masterpiece, you must have the ability to use your skill to the execution of painting. Let's proceed. Communication skills, no? I want to first emphasize that the definition of communication skills, both words combined. Communication skills is the act and the ability of transferring information from sender to receiver and feedback. So, meaning to say, if I am the sender, I send an information, let's say to person letter B, and person letter B does not understand my message. So, that is not an effective communication coming from the sender. Or maybe in the process between the sender and receiver and the message, there are a lot of barriers, like the receiver is not listening, or maybe the sender is not clear on the pronunciation and grammar that he used to convey the message. Therefore, in communication skills, we will learn about skills that involve in verbal or oral skills. That is basically speaking. Maybe you are hearing from a radio, that is verbal, or maybe someone recorded the message, no? That is verbal communication. Or maybe you are good in public speaking, like, motivators that you can see in webinars. They can speak eloquently, no? And that's a skill in public speaking. The next one is visual. What is this? It's all about, graphs, using charts, analytics, using logos or maps or any visual tools or information to convey a universal language of what the graph is talking about trends, about patterns. And then the next category will be non-verbal. Non-verbal is our body language. No? If I, if I cross my arms, there is a universal language that I am imparting. If I put my arms upward, it means victory. No? So, in other words, these are non-verbal or body languages communication. And of course, we have written communication. Now, students, believe it or not, International Institute of Computer Science and Administration really conveyed a the concept of communication skills. An example of their communication skills is their core values. According to their core values, you want success, you need confidence, and ICSA guarantees your success. That is a very, very concise communication and information. Why? Because good communication skills lead to great success. Meaning to say, if you will pursue your education in this institution, ICSA, the professors, the faculty, the instructors, the lecturers involved are all skilled in communication. And with that kind of skills that this faculty are imparting to the students, the byproduct will be a great success. That is why the core value, no? If you want success, you need confidence. And in order to get confidence, you must be a good and effective communicator. And in order to have confidence, you should acquire the basic understanding and concept of developing effective communication skills. And in this institution, we guarantee that you will have those kind of skills needed in the 21st century. And with that confidence leads to great success. And we guarantee the student success. Moving forward, here are categories of communication. We have verbal communication. Verbal communication can be a synonym to oral communication or our speaking on how we speak, no? This will involve face to face, no? Because our face, no, communicates a body language that can be seen by the person we are talking or the receiver. It could be telephone or, smartphones. It could be radios or smart televisions and other form of media. All right. So, like for example, right now we are doing a verbal communication, and I'm doing some combinations and mixture of non-verbal communication. Okay. If I if I point my highlighter and try to encircle the nonverbal communication, I am communicating in a mixture that I am writing something so that I can impart effective communication to my audience. And of course, when we say nonverbal communication, this comprises body language, our gesture, how we dress or act, where we stand, and even our scent. No? The next category of on this particular right column, we have a graph, and it tells us that in service, the this it's not a square, it's basically a blue rectangle, so it's very thin or slim, not unlike the software. It is much wider than the hardware. It tells us that the inventories of software in the sales of 2011, or the software item, significantly as large revenues as compared to hardware and as compared to service. So that is the message or information of the category of visualizations represented by graphs and charts. On this particular, we will now go to the importance of communication skill. Why is communication skill very important? Why is communication skills very important? In what scenario communication skills is essential? Let's look at education and learning. If you have an effective communication skills, you can promote interactive discussion. In education and learning, there is particularly the faculty or professor or teacher or instructor and students. They are the major characters. If the faculty has proficient, excellent, effective communication skills. The lessons that is imparted by the teacher can be understood by the students. The faculty uses a combination of all the categories of communication skills. He has a PowerPoint slides, he has a laptop, he has visuals, he uses nonverbal and verbal communication as well as written communication. With these mixtures of categories combined, and the message is in and information is clearly pronounced, grammar is correct, tenses are correct, it promotes interactive discussion with the students. An interactive discussion is this: the professor sends information to those students. Now, if these informations are absorbed by the students, these students is going to send information to the instructor or professor, and it creates a two-way communication and it promotes interactive discussion. Another importance is because of this tremendous network of communication channel existed, the classroom environment changes. It enhances collaboration and teamwork. Ideas and thoughts are overflowing like waterfalls. And therefore, students are encouraged to send their opinion, their thoughts, their ideas, and they try to seek knowledge through question. Students are encouraged to ask questions, meaning to say, it starts the process of complex problem solving and critical thinking. Wonderful. That is the importance of communication skills. And another variable also, if you are an effective communication skills, you will have the leverage to persuade, to negotiate, to influence others. How beautiful it is to gain and to be an effective communication skills. And of course, students, it takes practice to develop these communication skills. This is not an overnight skills that we learn or adapt or develop. No, it has to be practice. All right. So far, so good. Any questions from the audience? Any thoughts or ideas you want to communicate? Are there any gray areas you want to discuss? I encourage you to, if this is an online, I encourage you to send a message in the chat box. Okay? Or maybe if you don't have any inquiry or query, maybe what are the topics or areas that you get interested with? No? Let us try to discuss that. Let us try to enrich that. Okay? Very good. All right, let's proceed. So, another areas where communication skills is very important is in the workplace. My God, that is very true. Let us take, for example, this scenario. Okay? The scenario here, this collective group of employees or executives are really brainstorming or just finished their, you know, uh, deep and critical executive board meeting, but before reaching to an agreement, no, they deliberated their ideas, probably in the form of verbal communication. So in the workplace, listening to others and showing interest is what they say. If you have effective communication skills, definitely it will be an advantage to you in stepping up your career ladder in the organization. You will be promoted. There is self development. In just an example of dealing with telephone conversations appropriately, no? The gesture, the intonation, the ups and downs of our voice can reflect our personality, our politeness, our courtesy over the phone. It will also encourage and interpret interactive communication to others. So, having communication skills in the workplace is very critical. Like you students, you are now continuously working so hard to complete your studies, gaining a diploma through your bachelor's degree or associate degree. So that's why this course was designed for us to understand the concept and principles of communication skills and their importance in learning institution, in the workplace, and in the business, no? And actually, there are some skills that was mentioned here. Skills potential for employers, no? They look for prospective applicants. To mention a few, this is strong in written and verbal communication, your organizational skill, teamwork skills, critical thinking, and analytical thinking. And all of this boils down to the foundation of communication. Let's treat this one, these skills is sitting on a very strong foundation. Very strong foundation. All these skills, the weight of these skills are carried by this strong foundation. And this strong foundation is your communication skills. Having a strong foundation in communication skill, you will learn these different skills that is needed by the corporate. All right. So we go now to module 2. Module 2 is how to develop. How do we enhance our you know uh, communication skills? Number 1 is we must learn to develop our listening skills. To tell you, listening and hearing, they are not the same. Hear and listen, they are totally different. They are not similar because if, for example, your instructor send you an information and you just heard that information but did not process it, you were not able to listen. You did not exerted your listening skills. You did not you were not able to encode the message. That is why hearing and listening are totally different. Number 2, after developing listening skills. Listening skills is not an overnight acquisition of that skills. It takes practice. Sometimes you need, if you want to listen, one of the ingredient is eye-to-eye contact. Very important. When the receiver or the recipient sees that you have an eye-to-eye contact, your head gesture like this, it means to say that you are showing to the sender of the information that you are interested and you are listening to him. Number two, studying and understanding nonverbal communication. There are some individuals uses a combination of all of the three: verbal, oral, okay, and then at the same time the gesture of the hand, the nodding of the head, facial expression, the arms, right? So these are indicators that you have to watch. You have to be keen and observant so that you can develop your communication skills. Number three is emotional awareness and management. They say nowadays, no, that those people who usually get promoted inside the core organization are those individuals who have high EQ rather than a high IQ. Why? Because they have the emotional skills. They have interpersonal relationship with others. They know how to socialize. They empathize with the people that they engage. And last is questioning skills. Well, there are a lot of great quotes that if you want to develop complex problem skills, you have to start and build up your questioning ability. Meaning to say, if we learn to question, knowledge starts, knowledge exploration is developed. And once we question, it indicates that we really indeed absorb and encoded the message of the sender or the information that came from the sender. And through questioning ability, we develop our critical thinking. We learn to think deeper and wider. So, again, practice makes perfect. These are guidelines, these are algorithms for us to follow in order for us to develop communication skills. Take for instance, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They do not listen. Meaning to say, obviously, it might be an intentional intention not to listen. Why? Because they listen with the intent of replying or asking, criticizing, no? But that's why I told you guys, hearing and listening is totally different. They are not the same. So, if we develop our questioning ability, we create the atmosphere of critical thinking and complex problem solving skills. And again, emotional intelligence, no, is very important. If we learn to empathize, we can understand the feelings of others. Let's try to put ourselves in the shoes of others. And of course, these are different body languages that communicates to others. So, just to test the water, I have a formative assessment, and this activity measures the comprehension and understanding of the students. This is fun because the formative assessment is a quiz game created in Kahoot platform. Now, if you are unaware uh, or not unfamiliar with the application of Kahoot, please watch some tutorial videos from YouTube, okay? And you just click the link below in order for you to enjoy the game. So, thank you very much for attending my class. See you next meeting.